बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। प्यारे बच्चों, अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। अल्लाह ताला सुन शुक्र यम अल्लाह ताला बिलेट बी अकि लटि तोह ब्रोट कनत मुखातिब बसनुक तौफीक दित। चूंकि अस परान जेनेटिक्स मे पढ़नायो जेनेटिक्स क्या गो, जेनेटिक्स कत वनान जेनेटिक्स मज कुस फील्ड तो यह जेनेटिक्स साइंस कर गो इंट्रोड्यूस तो कम कोर इंट्रोड्यूस इस वाच पे लाइफ हिस्ट्री ऑफ मेंडल तथ वन मे कित पे कर मेंडल पन लाइफ स्टार्ट कर पन लाइफ स्टार्ट तो इस वाच रात अप टू 1856 to 1863 in 7 years. These 7 years were very important in man's life. Important in Mendel's life. Mendel's life. Even 7 वरियन मज Mendel वारिया ज़्यादा experiments, कम experiments, that is hybridization experiments on garden pea. On garden pea कर garden pea. इंशाल्लाह पढ़ो ब्रोट कुन कि यह हाइब्रिड एक्सपेरिमेंट क्या गो तो गार्डन पी क्या कोर सिलेक्ट एज हिज एक्सपेरिमेंटल प्लांट। 7 वरियन काम करित इन 1865 Mendel presented the results of presented the results of his breeding experiments that means hybridization experiments in two meetings of Natural History Society, Natural History Society of Britain. यमन ब्रीडिंग एक्सपेरिमेंट मज यह खास कर ज चीज इस्तेमाल करान। Number 1, that is statistical analysis, and number 2, mathematical algebra, mathematical logic. That is algebra and law probability. In order to solve biological problems, in order to solve biological problems, in order to solve biological problems, in दोनों tool, statistical analysis and mathematical logic, ये was वारिया ज़्यादा अजीब, वारिया ज़्यादा नई strange for other biologists. And in 1866, Mendel published these results, his results, his findings in a research paper, titled Experiments on Plant Hybridization. Experiments on plant hybridization. In a journal, किताब मजन journals मजन annually नेरानोस अथ मुल्कस मजन, that is annual proceedings of natural history Society of Britain. Yet research papers must medal kya postulations divan chu. Number 1, one postulation chuna medal a research papers must that gametes form the physical basis of heredity. That's very important. Gametes form the physical basis of heredity, which means that it is the gametes that transmits characters from parents to offsprings. Second postulation is gametes that contain factors, we should call them as Mendelian factors, and also called as germinal units, which transmits information from parent to offspring, which transmits information from one generation to another generation. And third postulation is Mendel postulated the principles of inheritance, in the form of laws called as Mendel's laws. And these laws form the basis for science of genetics. It forms the basis for science of genetics even today. That's why Mendel is remembered as father of genetics, or you can say founder of genetics. Fourth point, Mendel also postulated that there are two factors. There are how many? Two factors for every trait, for every character or trait of an organism. That means for every character or trait, there are two factors. For example, when we Take the example of plant height or stem height in case of pea plant. Stem height is a character. It has two contrasting variants, contrasting forms. One's tall and second one is dwarf. According to this postulation, when we see that for tallness there are two factors which we represent as capital T, and for dwarfness again there are two factors which we represent as small t. Why we represent them as in capital letters and why we represent them as small letters, it's another question that will be studied separately. Similarly, you have flower color. It is present in two contrasting variants. One is violet or pink, and second one is white. And there are two. These are two traits of a single character. It's a character flower color having two variants, violet and white. And for violet, you have two capital V, two factors. And for white, you have two small v. These are four postulations given by Mendel in his research publication. But unfortunately, the great significance of Mendel's work was not appreciated by other biologists. By other biologists. And in 1884, Mendel died without knowing that he had laid foundation for modern genetics. Then, after understanding the life history of Mendel, a number of questions give birth in your mind. Number of questions arise in your mind. Number one, first question: how gametes form the physical basis of heredity. First question that's to be answered. Second, how Mendel conducted his hybridization experiment. What's hybridization and how Mendel conducted this experiment on garden pea. Third question, that is, what are factors and how they control inheritance, how they transmit characters. Number fourth question, that is to be answered. What are Mendelian laws? What are Mendelian laws? What are Mendel's laws? Number fifth question is how Mendel used statistical analysis and mathematical logic to solve biological problems. And sixth one is why Mendel's work was not appreciated. Why Mendel's work was not appreciated by other biologists. And seventh question is how Mendel's work was rediscovered. How Mendel's work was rediscovered. And who rediscovered it? And eighth question is what are the reasons for Mendel's success? That's why he is today remembered as father of genetics. These questions are to be answered in the forthcoming lectures. Inshallah, if you cooperate me, I will try my level best to answer all these questions one by one. Today it's enough, inshallah. In the next lecture, we'll come with the another topic of genetics that's more interesting. Till then, good day, have a good night. These scholars, दी इजाज़त भी खुदा सवाल. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.